Hello everyone, so we are taking a look at the Laney IRT Pulse. Now this little thing was designed to be two things really. It is meant to be your audio interface and your guitar amp in one simple little box. So some of the functions that you can do with this thing is you can hook it up into your laptop and record directly into your digital audio workstation. So it's really handy that it has speaker emulation, so if you were to go in direct into the PC, you don't need to worry about your guitar tone being destroyed because it's not going through a speaker cabinet or going through a particular head that you like. So this makes things a bit more simple. So number one, you get all your guitar tones in this little box and you can record it directly into the PC. Very simple controls, straightforward gain, volume. There is the EQ button, a hot button, which essentially is, it breaks it into two channels really. So if you have the hot button disengaged, it's a slightly more clean sound to a more edge of breakup, and then once you punch in the hot button, then you get more gain. And then besides the EQ button, there is a bright button and a dark button. So these three buttons give you a very simple way to change the voice of the distortion or the clean tone. Very straightforward, not much knob tingling needed to be done in order to get a good tone. So number two, it is also a reamp box. So what is a reamp box? So for example, let's just say I was recording a guitar tone into my DAW, and upon playback I realized that no, I'm not liking the tone, it's not working in the mix. Traditionally what we do is we have to re-record the entire track, meaning you got to play the whole track again. Now the disadvantage of that being is maybe you've nailed the take and that's the take with the most feel and emotion, and then when you find out you got to retake it, you're in a totally different mindset. You're like, oh god, I got to play this again. So the mood might not be right. So what you can do is you can just very easily reamp the tone. So what is reamping? So if you were to hook up the Pulse into your DAW, it records two separate tracks. One track will be the wet signal and the other track will be the dry signal, meaning a DI signal. So if you were to listen back to the wet signal and you didn't like it, fine. All you have to do is engage the reamp button and play back the DI track and change the tone on this nifty little thing. So what it does is it'll re-record your DI track with a completely new tone. So that saves a lot of time in terms of re-recording your parts and things like that. Makes work a bit more easy. Now although this is used to be your one-stop solution for recording and getting your guitar tones in one little box, if you do enjoy the distortion tones that you get from here, you can use it on your pedal board. But what you'd have to do is you have to buy the foot switch separately, because it has a remote jack out for a foot switch, which is sold separately, which will enable you to disengage or engage the pedal just by clicking the foot switch. So now to listen to the pedal, what I'm going to do is I hooked it up into my DAW, and for the first part of this video you're just going to hear me turning all the knobs so you can hear all the different tones that you can get from this one little thing. And then for the second part I'm going to show you how to reamp your tones, how to hook up the entire thing, how to make sure that your workstation is detecting the pedal, and just show you how simple it is to actually do it. Okay, so once you've hooked up the Pulse into your PC or laptop, what you want to do is you want to open your ASIO driver right there, and you have to make sure that you have these selected, the USB audio codec. So that is actually the Pulse, the RT Pulse running into a laptop. So once you have that selected, then you just have to proceed to open your DAW, and if you go under devices, you can see that I have all kinds of devices here. You just have to make sure that the ASIO driver is selected out of all of those, and then when your recording is, you just have to open one track and make sure that's mono in 1, and another one, just make sure that is the mono in 2. So the mono in 2 will be the wet signal and the mono in 1 will be the dry signal. Alright, so now once you have that set up, what you're going to do is you're going to arm both the dry signal and wet signal, meaning this will be mono 1 and the wet signal will be mono 2, or left and right. So what you're going to do is you're going to arm both the tracks. So let's just quickly record something here. Okay, so once you've done that, you can see it's recorded 2 different tracks, and the obvious one would be the one with the most dynamics here. It will be the DI signal. So if we just listen to that one, this other track that was recorded will be the wet signal. Okay, now, so let's just say I was not particularly happy with the tone that I got with this one. I wouldn't need to record the whole track again. What I just need to do is press the Reamp button on the IRONHEART. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open up another new track and make sure you have mono 2 selected again for the wet signal. And all you have to do is make sure you've muted all the other tracks that you have and only leave the DI track unmuted. So all you have to do is you have to arm the Reamp track now, which is this, and all you have to do is change the tones on the IRT Pulse and just click record. And boom, you have a brand new track. So now if we just listen to the difference between the two, this was the track that we recorded earlier. With that, with this, so this was the track we recorded earlier. And then this is the track that we just recorded again. Boom, done. Now I also found a YouTube comment somewhere that someone was asking if you can use this plug directly into a speaker cabinet, and Laney actually replied and said, yeah, you can do that. So I hooked it up to a speaker cabinet, which you will listen to it right now. Alright, so this is the Pulse hooked directly into a speaker cabinet. It's a Orange PPC 212. So I read in a YouTube comment somewhere that Laney actually replied a person that you can actually hook up this device directly into a speaker, and it should help you have a sort of backup if your head were to blow up or something like that. So I have it hooked up here, but the volume is really soft. Now one thing is the volume is really low, so while the Pulse can power up a cabinet, but I don't think it's powerful enough to make sure that you can get gigging volumes here. I think you can actually use this directly into the PA system. So what you can do is you can hook up your pedal board into this and make sure you have the speaker emulation turned on, or else it's not going to sound right. And you can actually go direct into the PA, and this can be your little backup amp. Now for something this small, it's really surprising how good it can sound. Probably thanks to the couple of tubes that are in there, giving it the more organic tone of a typical tube amp that you're used to hearing. Another thing, by looking at it, I'd say if you have a lackluster sound card on your laptop or PC, I'm sure you can use this as a headphone amp of sorts. So if you hook this up into your PC and you're listening to music and you want a better sound card, I'm sure this will give you a much better tone through your headphones. So once again, if you're looking for something that can record your guitar tracks easily, you don't need to drag another separate head or a separate audio interface in order to record your tones. Just bring this little box. They provide the adapter in the box and a nice carrying case. What's crap about it is they did not provide the USB cable needed to connect into your PC, so you're going to have to buy that separately. And for the price, really, what's good about it is the Reamp feature, because if you were to get a studio amp and if you were to get a DI box and get a Reamp box separately, the cost can be pretty high. So if you think of it, you'd have to get an amp, you have to get an audio interface, you got to get a DI box and a Reamp box. So all that together now is going to cost you quite a lot for simple home recordings and stuff. So considering that, this little thing does give a whole lot of flexibility and space saving options to you. Audio interface, amp in a box, reamp features. Can't get any better than that. Now if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and if you like the products used in this video, you can check out musicbliss.com.my.